many times when you are asked to do something, you have a default answer, and that is either default no or default yes? Welcome to Momentum Live. I'm Brooke Scott. I want to talk to you guys about that today and the option of maybe a potential different default. So I know that we are so often trying to protect ourselves from being overcommitted. Many times we get asked to do something and we say yes, which is how we end up being overcommitted without actually thinking through the time and the energy and the effort that it's going to take to fulfill that request. So then we sort of swing the pendulum far the other way and we go default no. So anytime somebody asks us a question or makes an invitation to us, our immediate response is no. And if you have kids, I'll tell you this is a pretty common thing as well. I started to notice that when my kids would have a request from me, my immediate answer would be no, default no. And it was hard because then I had to try to backpedal, especially when it was something that was very simple that I should have just said yes to in the first place. So the tactic that I've been using is default maybe. So when someone has an invitation for me or asks me to participate in a committee or an association or something, my answer is maybe. Let me think about that. It gives me some time to step back and really evaluate what the ask is. It gives me time to be able to evaluate whether or not I'm going to be able to commit and actually follow through on what is being asked by me. The other thing is when I go back to the example with my children, when I say, let me think about that, it gives me the opportunity to listen to what their request is and figure out if I really should say yes or no to it. Sometimes I think we're programmed to default an answer for a variety of reasons. There's a really good James Clear article actually that talked about how you can program your default responses. And it talked about, your environment. So for example, when you want to have, when you want to make healthy food choices, it's important that your house is filled with healthy food choices. It's really hard to ignore the Doritos for the apple slices. Just saying. You don't have Doritos, apple slices tend to be the choice. There was another couple things that he mentioned about, one that I really liked was opting out versus opting in. So for example, if you were to schedule an exercise class and at the end of the first exercise class, you scheduled your next one, it would require you to have to opt out of going versus having to then sign up later. And you did that at a time where you felt good and you felt motivated and so on. So opting out versus opting in. Just thought that was kind of interesting. So think about that. Think about your defaults. Think about your environment. Are you giving yourself enough time to think through what the request is and actually answer it to, what you can truly satisfy? I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see y'all next week.